Now then guys, how we doing? I'm back on sofa again. Oh yes. So I've got some, hopefully some good news for you. As you can hear, I've got Athena here. You've got what, sweeties? Oh, thank you. You eat them, love. So yeah, little video just to tell you what's going on. So as you can hear, I've had a wonderful time the last 4 to 5 weeks. Being at home with Feeny Bobs. Playing with toys. It's been a birthday. We've been out. We've done a few vlogs on Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire, as you've seen. And yeah, I've had a really nice break. But obviously, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, right, you know, I've got to get things sorted now. There's a couple of things I want to talk about first. First of all, right, let's talk about Rate My Takeaway. Okay, so you know, Rate My Takeaway. Last 5 years of my life, created a channel with the other two guys that, you know, what amazing. We achieved something great. We achieved greatness on YouTube. And, you know, it's been a big part of my life for 5 years. That's come to an end. I've got to move on. It was my decision to do that because of, you know, the things that I outlined in my other videos. I'm not going to go into any more detail, and that's because, you know, I have got legal representation now. Okay, so it's now being dealt with the solicitor. Hopefully we can come to an agreement. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't want to see Rate My Takeaway fail. I think, you know, if the two lads can find somebody else and they can all work fairly together, then that's great. But obviously there's just a few issues that need sorting out regarding me and them. So that's all I'm going to say on that matter. Obviously it's been a bit quiet over the last few weeks about it all, and that's why, because, you know, we were both toing and froing and it wasn't doing anybody any good. So I think we need to get it sorted out and then move on. I just want to say, firstly, thank you very much for all the support that I've had from everyone, from the fans of Rate My Takeaway, the fans of Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire, my fans in general. You know, it's been humbling with the support that I've received. And, you know, the phone calls that I've had, people phoning me up, you know, other creators giving me a bell, talking about working with me and doing things. But I just needed a little bit of time to get my thoughts together and to try and figure out the next move. Obviously, creating content has been a big part of my life, and I do enjoy it. I do enjoy creating content. It just got to the point where it wasn't enjoyable for me to go to work because of certain situations. So now that things are sort of in my control, I can look to the future and look and see how I'm going to do things and what I want to achieve, how I'm going to do that. Now, second thing I want to talk about, because a few people have commented about it, a few people have commented good things, a few people have commented bad things, is obviously one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons why I left was due to my mental health and what working in that environment was doing to my mental health. Now, people come on and say that they've now seen me on other videos and I look happy. You know, if anybody's struggled with mental health or is struggling, you would know that people are happy, people are sad. All right, people show with mental health extreme happiness. People show extreme sadness. So, you know, oh, sorry guys, you see what Summer wants, love? She's just stuck her head round. Sorry about that. You know, so like somebody can be as happy as Larry, rolling around with a big smile on their face. But that could be how they're dealing with things. You don't know when they go home how they're going to feel. And the different traumas that I've suffered over the years, I wouldn't wish on anyone. it's been a very, very difficult last, 5 years for me and my family. And there's been a lot of changes, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But unfortunately in life, whenever we hear negative, that's what we focus on. It's just human nature. That's what it is. And, I did get to a point last year where I had to go see a psychiatric doctor, because I did get to a point where on camera I was looking like the happiest man on the planet, but then I was coming home and going to bed, locking myself in bedroom, not talking to my family, not wanting to be around my family and my kids, not wanting to do things, having no drive. Then I'd get up and go to work and I'd be happy. Now then, guys, how you doing back up road again? Because I knew that's what I needed to do to be able to support my family. So I just did the things that I needed to do. But inside, I was wrecked. I was a wrecked man. I didn't know what to do. I got people reaching out to me. The guys at the Silverbacks, all the rugby players reaching out, wondering what's going on, how I'm feeling, constantly on. And I was like, yeah, I'm all right, boys, I'm all right. But I wasn't. And it got to a point last year where, boof, that was it. I was nearly doing myself in, which is something I never thought I'd be saying. And if it wasn't for Sophie being so persistent in getting me to see a doctor, I wouldn't be where I am today, I don't think. And, that's hard for my family and my friends to hear, because, and possibly you guys, because people, you see things in a different light, because I've been happy, because I've been jumping around. But again, I'm sure there's some people watching now that when you're nervous, you laugh. When you're upset, sometimes people laugh. It's how you cope with it. So what I want to say is don't just say because somebody's smiling, oh, they must be talking rubbish. Because believe me, they're not. All right? How many actors and actresses, let's talk about, Robin Williams, for example. An absolute phenomenal actor. He brought some of the best films to TV. And that poor guy struggled and ended up taking his own life. And people are quick to judge, quick to say, but when he were on camera, he's happy because it's his job, because it's what he's got to do to support his family. But outside of that, you don't know what's going on. So it's just a little bit of awareness, really, to say, don't ever diss somebody that says they're suffering with mental health. Mental health is not just one thing, right? It can mean, it's a spectrum of things. People deal with things in different ways, and it affects you in different ways. Now, when I saw that psychiatric doctor, I saw for 2 to 3 months, a bit longer actually, 3 or 4 months I think. And at first I thought, what a load of rubbish. What are they making me do here? And then all of a sudden something just clicked, and I found myself opening up to her and talking about problems that I'd locked away, things that I didn't realise caused me as much anxiety and grief and trauma as what they did. And once I found that, and once I found out how to deal with that, I then had to decide what's most important to me. And the most important thing, as is everyone, is your family. And then your friends, people around you, and for me, the fan base as well. I didn't want to keep putting on a show and not telling people. So, I spent the last probably 4 months racking my brain, trying to put things in place that's going to make my life better, make me happier, so that with my family I'm happier to be around. Which brings us to today. And I'm now in a position where I'm free to create, I'm free to do what I want, I'm free to just be myself and express myself in ways that I've not done before. Now, obviously, you know, me and Sophie, we've had the Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire on YouTube, and, you know, the support that we've had on there has just been, well, at one day it brought me to tears, to be honest, because I just couldn't believe it. And there's been comments on there, there's been comments of, you know, I've seen comments on other places about Sophie again, and I want to reiterate this again. Sophie had nothing to do at all with me leaving Rate My Takeaway. But if it wasn't for her, I would not be here today. And I know that. I know that. And I can't thank her enough. And even since I've left, the support that she's given me, you know, we've been uploading on the Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire because I wanted to create, I wanted to do these videos. We did them anyway, but, you know, I've done a bit of food ones now, and, you know, they've gone well. And I enjoy it. And I've been eating food inside for a change, on a table and chair inside instead of sat outside in cold. I've been eating food that, you know, is a little bit healthier for me. But most of all, I've enjoyed going and creating. I've enjoyed myself again. And that's what I needed to do. That's what I needed to find. So I just want to say thank you to you all for supporting us and for supporting Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire. We are going to continue. We are going to continue to create content. At the moment, we're putting around 3 videos a week out. But we are going to reduce it back to 2. And the reason for that is one, Sophie's got a full-time job as a journalist. She also does other things for charity. And she's also full-time mum to us all, especially to me. She does the cooking, the cleaning, the washing, everything. You know, I can't ask for anything else, to be honest. I might as well sit here like a king and just, you know, people think that, you know, she's after money and all this, but that's not the case. And I really sincerely do mean that. That is not the case. She's just the most loving, caring person I've ever known in my life. So, you know, we need to make sure there's a happy balance. So we're going to go back to 2 episodes, but that's because I'm going to be bringing out a new channel, a new food channel, food review channel. So I'm going to be back on road, right? Like I said at the beginning, I don't know how many calls off people with calls of support, but also messages of come create with me, we'll do something together. And I'm talking people from other food creators, other food bloggers, vloggers that have already got channels that are already established, that don't really need to be with me, right? But they're offering support, they're offering to do stuff together. Then I've had, you know, Master Chefs, people that have been on Master Chef, that have got to, you know, we're not talking people that got kicked out 12th place, that we're talking people that got to final. We're talking about people that won. We're talking about people that have been in, you know, the Master Chef. So I'm like just so overwhelmed with all this support and thinking, by heck, what am I going to do? But somebody were calling me every day to see if I were all right, to see if everything were okay, and just chatting about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to move forward. And we met up and we had a chat and we talked about what I did and the format, how I did it. and we talked about what they do and the way they do it. And then we talked about, what if we just mixed it up? What if we did something together? And we went 50-50. Contracts done. Channels set up. Full access to each other done. So that there's no worries. Right, because that's my worry. I was thinking, if I'm doing it on my own, then I've got full control. If I get other people involved, and it's not a case of paying a cameraman or an editor, then it gets tricky. But we sat for a long time, 4 to 5 hours, and we had a discussion, and we come out with, we're going to do a channel together. We're going to be reviewing restaurants, hotels, takeaways, sandwich shops, supermarkets. You name it, we're going to give it a go. Right, we're going to go for it. And do you know what? I felt so good over the last couple of weeks. Just putting all these things in place. We finalised it all at the weekend, you know, and signed the deal and did it all. So I'm happy to announce that from November, there'll be a new YouTube channel. You'll be able to go and subscribe to it now. The link will be in the description of this video. And the new channel is called Danny and Gary. So yeah, you might have guessed, it's Gary from Gary Eats. Me and Gary are teaming up, and we're just going to create content that is going to be fun, that is going to be, you know, we're going to have us disagreements, because obviously I'm used to reviewing takeaways that's costing me 30, 40 quid for 3 or 4 items. So the way that I review things is looking at value for money, you know, what you're getting for that, what you expect to get from that place. Whereas Gary's been reviewing, you know, 150 quid steak dinners and going to places that are costing him 500 quid, which is just nuts for me. So me going into these places, I mean, I don't know if they're going to let me in with my Crocs on. That's one thing I've said to Gazza. I says, look, pal, am I going to be able to wear my Crocs here? And he's looking at me saying, oh, I don't know. So, you know, we'll probably revisit places where he's been that I haven't. Places that I've been that he hasn't. We'll be going to new places. We're going to go abroad. We've got so much planned. It's going to be absolutely crazy and nuts. So what I ask is, please support us. Because I know there's an overlap of fans between us both anyway. I know some people just like seeing me. I know some people just like seeing Gary. But what I can promise you is this is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be new. And for me, I feel like a kid again. I feel like I just cannot wait to get out there and create this content. So, look at the link. Please like and subscribe. We're going to put a little video on there, just talking about basically what I've just said. Watch it, comment, let us know what you think. But also we want to know from you, where shall we go, what shall we do? Give us some ideas. Apparently Gary don't like skydiving or heights, so that's out of question. I wanted to do that 150 odd foot restaurant suspended in the air job, but apparently he won't do it, so we'll have to do a poll for that. But I'm excited. I've got drive. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And just touching back on mental health, this has done so much for me. It's given me something to look forward to, something to wake up and be excited about, something to plan for the future. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you've just got to make changes in your life that are just going to be better for you and your family. Some people might not like it. Some people might not agree with it. But at the end of the day, you've got to do what's good for you. I wish everybody else, like I said, the lads that rate my takeaway, I wish them the best. you know. But the next chapter for me is Danny and Gary. Alright, it's not Back on the Road, Danny and Gary. It's not Danny and Gary Eats. It's Danny and Gary, just me and Gary, me and Gazza, out there, having fun, eating food and enjoying it. So, thank you very much for listening to me waffle on. Please like and subscribe, not only to Mr. and Mrs. Yorkshire, because I'd appreciate that. I'd love to get to that 100k if I'm honest with you. We're at 86, I think, at the moment. So I'd love to get to that. But please, please go on, like and subscribe to the new channel. Me and Gary would both appreciate it. Take care, much love, and I cannot wait for November to get this content out there and see what you guys think. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.